Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, college coaches and high school and college football fans. My name is Coach Anthony Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Connected Athletics. We're based in Austin, Texas, and we are using this technology platform to allow high school, college, and pro athletes to tell their story, to share their football journey about who they are both on and off the field during the recruiting process, during the transfer portal process, which we'll talk about tonight, and also when they're a pro. There's the days are over back when I played when the only way to share your story was if a writer or a journalist asked you about your story. With today's technology, we want these athletes to control their own brand, to control their own message, and let coaches know who they are outside the field or their sport of play, which is as important as what they do on the field. So we're going to get to our very special interviewee tonight. Before we do that, let's pay some bills. I want to thank my sponsors. First sponsor, Buffalo Wild Wings. Good friend of mine, Brian Soltis, is the regional VP. He is also very passionate about helping student athletes across the country share their story, build their brand, and use football or their sport to make them successful in their next career. So I want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for supporting the Spotlight podcast. I also want to thank my friends up in Nebraska, Go Edit Graphics. They are a new and exciting graphics company that is targeted high school and college athletic programs that want to add graphical designs to their outbound communication. If you want to have color-coded graphics with your mascot for player of the week, player of the game, or any type of outbound communication to your fan base, you want to contact Go Edit Graphics. They can customize some of their graphics to your school colors with your mascot and add a little bit of sizzle to your outbound communication. Lastly, I want to thank my friends at Epic 247. Good friend of mine, Stefan Johnson, down in Houston, Texas, is the new CEO of a new apparel company. If you're tired of wearing the same old brick and mortar brands that are out there, Epic stands for Every Play I Compete, and they have a great design of new workout gear. They do high school uniforms and team uniforms. They do 7-on-7 jerseys. They do a little bit of everything, but they got a really nice design to their apparel. So check them out at I am Epic 247 or epic247.com. With that out the way, thank you, my sponsors. Tonight, I was telling this young man, this is a very special night after doing this podcast for over a year. Malik will be our first NCAA transfer portal player. If you have not been following high school recruiting, the portal has become both a blessing and a problem, to be honest with you, for a lot of recruiting. It's good if you know what you're doing, but sometimes it's not a party up in the portal. And we've got a young man tonight that's going to share his story. So I think it's going to help high school athletes, and it's going to help college athletes understand before you get in the portal, make sure you have a plan for that next school when you go in there. Let me introduce you to Malik Braxton. He is a talented wide receiver. He played his 1 year at Campbell University, North Carolina. As I mentioned, he is in transfer portal coaches. He's got 3 years left of eligibility, so he's got a lot of great ability to bring to the next program that he goes to. He's got great size. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. He runs about a 4.39, 4.40, so he's got speed along with that size. And coaches, you can see his Twitter name there. If you're interested, you want to reach out. Malik X Braxton 1 on Twitter. Malik, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Blessed and highly favored. How are you today?
I'm also highly blessed and highly favored. I'm looking forward to getting to know more about you and more importantly, sharing it with these coaches. Hey, let's just jump right in here, Malik. So you reached out to me. I'm so thankful you did. We were connecting with your parents here and tell me a little bit about your story. But tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today. You're at Campbell University. You put yourself in the portal. Give us kind of a quick update on where you are today in your athletic career.
So as of today, I'm in a pretty good position. I mean, I train like really, really hard. It's kind of like been a process, honestly, just because it's been a while since Campbell, but I mean, I put in a lot of time, a lot of work, try to get in at least like 2 workouts a day, early morning, 6 a.m. and then a 12:30. Sometimes I get in 3 if I'm really feeling good. I get in 3 just to try to stay disciplined and just build that camaraderie, like with my coaches and my trainers. So pretty much it's been a good process as far as like just training and everything else. So
okay. Malik, tell these coaches, when officially did you enter the portal and you're good to go academically? Give us a little bit of background about your forthcoming transition to a new school once you make that decision.
Okay, so I entered the portal. Actually, this is a good story. I entered the portal right here in August.
Okay.
I was getting ready to go to the Kansas State camp. And the coach, I was trying to see the facilities, and the coach said, "Did you enter the transfer portal before you come in here?" And I was like, no. So I entered the portal in August, and it's been a journey far as that. I'm in my GPA right now is currently at 3.4. I'm a business major, so stay on top of those things. I stay on top of it a lot. Yep.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, now let's go backwards a little bit. So we know you're in the portal now. You're at Campbell University for 1 year. Tell us what happened. I mean, let's be honest. What happened at Campbell that has led you to make you a decision to go in the portal in August? Tell us about what happened.
So, wow, it was a journey coming in initially. 2018, I found out my mother was sick. Okay. She was she had a bunch of tumors in her, like around her stomach, and it was kind of just rough. One day I actually came home and she was taking a bath and she was in pool of blood. It was just bad. And I had to make a decision, play football or take care of your mother. It was kind of life or death situation for her. So I had to take the back seat. And I humbled myself and I made the decision to take care of my mother. And that journey was a rough one. I mean, I was watching all the players that I initially came in with play, which I knew I could have been a big impact to the team if my mom wasn't sick. So now it's about just making sure that she's okay, and she's a lot better now. So I don't thank God for that situation.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I know a little bit about the story, but I can just feel the emotion coming through the phone here. You made the right decision. I mean, let's be straight. I love football. I love helping student athletes out, but family over everything. It's kind of one of the sayings we have in my family. And I think you made the right decision, taking care of your mom and then using that adversity to make you a better young man, make you a better student athlete, make you a better student down the road. So thank you for sharing that. I think, Coach, that's one thing. There's a lot of stories in the portal. Some of them aren't as emotional as yours. Some of them are just like, man, they were sleeping on me at XYZ University, so I'm going over here now. And that's not your story. Let's be real. I think coaches need to know that. So thank you for sharing that. Let's go a little bit further back for these coaches to get to know you. Let's go back to high school. Big time player, great size, great speed. We went through that. Tell us about your high school experience. What led up to you committing to Campbell University?
Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
So I actually came in as a freshman at Matoka High School. My grandma passed away in 2014, and I was staying with her, so it was really rough. She died of breast cancer that year, so I had to make another decision of what school that I wanted to go to, and I was trying to find a home. So I was going from school to school trying to find a home, and I actually finally found a home with the Central Virginia Disciples in Virginia, and it was really good. Actually, I came in as a receiver. I played receiver, tight end, running back, quarterback, outside linebacker, just as a hybrid athlete. I came in and played wherever the coaches needed me. So we game plan, each week, putting me in different positions, to be a good athlete. I really enjoyed that. I felt like that I was a very versatile athlete, and I applied a lot of pressure to each team each week. So, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. And so I know as a former college coach, I love football players. It's one thing to be a receiver or a tight end or a linebacker or whatever, but sometimes things happen and you need talented athletes all over in every position. So give us a little bit more in-depth on that experience of playing multiple positions. It obviously means you're a good athlete, but talk about playing all those different roles, doing whatever it takes to help your team be successful each weekend.
So each weekend, we actually made it to the championship 2 times in a row. My first time us going to the championship, I came in as a tight end. We had a spread offense, so I ran the spread and I came in a lot of blocking just because we ran single wing. So we like to spread the offense out or the defense out. I'm sorry, correction. So we spread them out, and I would just go deep a lot and they'd throw it to me. But I came in as a blocking guy initially, just because it was a single wing formation. My senior year in high school, it was more of versatility. I had to really learn how to become a running back. I came in, again, hoping to play receiver. And actually, this is when the adversity started in my career because I actually lost my spot to a 6'5" guy just because of his height. It was just because of his height. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I wasn't going to be deterred to lose my position, so I took somebody else's position. I went to running back. I played running back, led my team all the way to the championship. We won 6-0 in Tennessee.
Okay.
Pretty much defense. I mean, I just play wherever I fit in. I mean, I like to lay the boom. So, I mean, I'm a small guy, but not really, but I like to lay the boom.
Okay. Well, and it's good. I watched your video. I've seen some of the clips you sent me on your timeline. You know, coaches, for those watching, I mean, the kid's an athlete, obviously. He's got good size. He can play a lot of positions. So it's good, Malik, because you're not locking yourself into, well, I only play receiver or I only play running back. I mean, I tell kids all the time, are you a receiver? Are you a football player? Because we're looking for a safety. And you only play receiver, so I'm going to have to go to somewhere else. So I think it's good that you let coaches know that you are a hybrid, that you can play multiple positions at a high level, which is very important. We mentioned you being a good athlete. Talk about other sports that you played. You've got speed, you've got size, basketball, track. What else did you do in high school before you got to Campbell?
So actually, before I even played football, I actually played baseball.
Okay.
I was actually interested for a while. It was fun, but I realized that I was a better football player than baseball player. So then I stick with football. I also did basketball, and I played like 5-5 just because I can jump up, and I had a good break. So I was jumping getting every single rebound. Like I actually started off my first game with 2 points and like 12 rebounds. And I made my way through the season, averaging like 12 points, like 14 points a game, just because like I was very coachable and the coaches like loved that about me. I actually earned, I think the award was most coachable player of the year or something like comeback player of the year or something like that, because like I managed to like up my skill throughout the season. So it was actually kind of interesting. I should have stuck with basketball a little bit longer, but I was like, I just love football too much. Like this, just the feeling of football gives me chills. So,
okay, I like it. No, thanks for that background. Hey, let's talk about you a little bit academic. We'll change up a little bit here. So you mentioned you're a business major. Talk about your academics. Talk about the grind you put in your academics and you know, what you want to do as far as the future once football is over.
Okay, so honestly, the grind part of school is a lot different when you go to college, honestly. Yeah. And this is important. Like, if anybody from high school is watching this, you really need to focus on your GPA grades. Grades are important. So, I mean, I have classes early in the morning. Like, I like to get my stuff done early. So my first class is at 10 in the morning. You know, I'm up at 6. You know, I get my first workout in, and then I get breakfast, and then I get ready to go to class. So class is really good. I actually study a lot. I spend a lot of time in the library. I feel like you need to be disciplined when it comes to schoolwork. You have to really set up that time. Even though you're an athlete and you work out, you have to set up that time to study and work on your GPA. So far as like being a business major, I've always been interested in cars. Okay. I have a love for it. I want to own like my own like detail body shop, like oil change, like just my own garage, and take the time to take apart like cars and work on them, and have other guys with me that can do the same thing, paint them, restore them, and everything else like that. Then not only that, like I would like to expand and then get out and get my own car wash and then get my own like retail services and mobile oil changes and mobile shops like that can like get out here and help these people that like struggle, you know, because it's really just about helping others. You know, you can't just be all about the money. You need the help. So
well, I like that you're following your passion. You obviously have a passion for cars and business, and you're finding a way to build a future in that, because you know, you and I talked before we got on the interview here. You know, the game's going to come to an end one day. You know, and it's all about, and this is what we're focused on as a company, is successful transition from playing your sport of choice to taking those same skills and being successful in the business world and whatever you do. So I love that you already have a plan in place. Malik, tell these coaches who don't know you, you know, learning style. We talked about chemistry, the importance of chemistry when you come into a new program. Tell these coaches, what kind of a learning style do you have? Would you consider yourself more of a visual, verbal, or hands-on learning or coaching style?
So I am a hands-on learner, and I'm also visual. I can put like both of them together. I'm visual when it comes to just like I can just like pick up on stuff like really quick,
Yeah.
and then I study it and then I practice it when I get hands on. Like everything that you do, you need to practice. So that's why I say I'm hands on, because like I practice it and I practice it and I practice it until I understand, especially math. So I mean, I'm a very like hands-on learner. I like to get my like practice in class. Teacher calls me to the board. I'm always like up there, raising my hand, trying to get to the board. And then visually, it's the same. I take the notes and then I look at it. I highlight everything, and I like to be color coded. I'm sorry. I mean, I know this sounds weird.
No,
I like
not
to
at all.
color-coded. So I color code everything, and I basically put it in the way where I can understand it. So.
Good stuff. No, I love that you have the best practice round. That's awesome. Hey, tell me a little bit about, when you're not working out. So you talk about your day, you get up, you work out, you have breakfast, and you go to school. When you're not working out, homework's done, and there's no game on the weekend, what does Malik like to do in his spare time? What are some of your hobbies and stuff away from the game?
Okay, so I actually have been doing community service. We have this charity called Hope for Help, and it's kind of like basically where you donate like school supplies to kids. We try to take the time to clean out neighborhoods like our minorities. We try to take the time to like help the kids, like get them clothes or anything to like just to help the community. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm just spending a lot of time like kind of reading my Bible. I've been getting more into my Bible, and like my favorite Bible verse right now is Philippians 4:1-3. We can do all things in Christ Jesus who strengthen us.
Yep.
So I do that, and then when I really want to have my fun, I go to car meets. So I go to car meets and I do my little car things.
Okay.
It's all lights on cars. Just the
Yeah.
normal. That's the norm for me. So
Okay.
between the Bible, community service, and car meets is pretty much the three things I do on my free time.
Okay. For these coaches that have not seen you play and maybe haven't seen your high school huddle video, remind them what player, when they watch you play, would they remind you of? Who do you your game after, at the college or pro level? If they look at you like, hey, yeah, I play a lot like AJ Green, or I play a lot like one of the other top receivers. Who is it that you look up to at the college or pro level? You say, that's what kind of player I'm going to be.
Okay, so I could say I could take the top off of a defense like Chris Carter, but I also can play aggressive like Steve Smith. I'm not afraid to get in there and run you over, but I'm not afraid to, make a play when it's needed, deep down the field, deep post, go route, corner route. I'm not afraid to get vertical in the defense. So again, I think like I could compare my game to Chris Carter, but I also can compare my game to Steve Smith. He was a smaller guy, but he was so aggressive. And that's what I am. I'm very aggressive. I believe in eating up the cushion. You ever heard of taking the cookies out their cookie jar?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Jar. I like to take the cookies from them.
Yeah.
Attack the field.
So, as a former receivers coach myself, let's let these coaches know more about you. So I'm going to allow you to grade yourself as a receiver in a couple of different categories. You give me number 0 being not great, 5 being really good. Grade yourself as a route runner.
Route runner, I would give myself a 4.
Okay, I love the honesty. Okay, so you're talking about taking it off the top, but also most of the game is played underneath and being running very precise routes on option routes and slants and digs and comebacks. Is that something that you kind of have built yourself into?
I train daily on the short routes. My biggest problem growing up was separation. And actually, I trained that a lot. Reading the defense, like separation. So underneath routes, 4.
Okay. All right. Where would you, and this is another important part, that when you don't have the ball, how would you grade yourself as a blocking receiver for the run game?
Oh, 5. I lay you on your back. There's no question. I like blocking because, put them on the ground. Look, this is because you're not getting the ball don't mean you can't lay them down. You got to make a play somehow. You never know, the play can come back your way.
All right, so I like it. What about your hands? How would you grade your hands?
I grade my hands at 4.5. I have very big hands. I have made some one-hand catches in games before. It's big on two-hand things, like two-hand catches, but I mean, I can catch pretty well.
Okay. What about, how would you grade yourself on yards after the catch? How explosive are you after the catch?
I give myself a 4. And I'll give myself a 4 only because, like, in my highlights, like I didn't get the ball much, like in that like the option of going deep and stuff
Mhm.
I just prefer to say that I'm a 4 right now until I get into a program where they can see that I can get,
Okay.
prove that I'm that.
Okay.
So
Last skill that's very important as a receiver, as you know, is coverage, understanding coverages and understanding blitzes and adjusting your routes on the fly during play. Talk about what would you grade yourself in that part of your game?
5.5 off the
Okay.
scale, and the reason why I say that is it's like it's really important to know like how you run the shell, how you gonna hold the line, like where you are, before you even come out to the field, like before you're in the huddle and you jog into your spot, you should already know what you're gonna do. You should already know like, okay, they're running shell, he's backing off, he's coming up close. Like you need to be able to know, okay, I'm gonna some inside or outside on these routes. Like what am I gonna do here to get separation versus these corners, DBs, safeties, outside linebackers?
Mhm.
You know, should I make this type of block or this type of block? Should I run them off, out the play first, then block them? Like it's very important to really know where you're going at when it comes to these things
Okay.
coming out.
I
So
just thought of two more skills that I used to coach up a lot and still do. How would you rate yourself getting off of press coverage?
I'll rate myself a 4.5. I
Okay.
am very big. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
Far as like trying to get hands on me is a no-no. So
Okay.
I like to eat up that, again, take the cookies from the cookie jar. So
Okay. All right. And then
yeah.
lastly, and the one that's really important today because, DBs are getting better and, windows get smaller the higher you get, 50-50 balls. How would you grade yourself on 50-50 balls?
I would give myself a 5. In
Okay.
my huddle, if you watch my highlights, I went up against 2 guys. I had one guy in the front, one guy in the back. I went up, grabbed the ball out the guy's hand, and then snatched it back from him, and then went like for probably like 4 or 5 yards. He was holding on to my ankle, so I was trying to pull him down the field, but
Okay. All right. All right. Well, coaches, you have a good idea of what kind of receiver Malik is, which I love him. I love the way that you shared it with some passion too. I like that. As we finish up here, Malik, talk about what are some of the schools. We've talked about you being in the portal, how you got there, what led to it. We'll talk about you as an athlete, a little bit about you personally. Let's talk about the future now. What schools are you interested in? Do you want to stay on the East Coast? Are you open anywhere in the country? Give these coaches an idea about some of the schools that you'd like that fits your goals as both a student athlete and setting you up for your future.
Okay, so I am actually interested in going as far as California. I mean, like, honestly, I'm open to any school, but the school really has to be about home. So, like, I've been looking at tech schools in Texas, like Texas A&M, SMU. Then I've been looking at schools in the Atlantic Conference, such as like Memphis and like
Okay.
Cincinnati. Cincinnati's actually been playing really good, and they have a
Yep.
good program. I'm looking at them, and then Florida schools too, like they can use some help like USF and like UCF, FIU, those schools that really can use like somebody like me in the program. They do the spread all the time, but they can use me in the program. And, so I also looked at North Carolina schools, and I would like to, try the rest of the North Carolina schools out. Like, they have Chapel Hill. I feel like they can utilize me, or, NC State most definitely can utilize me. I feel like that would be a great like fit for the scheme of offense that I run. So
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Tell me, what would you consider yourself? What are your strengths and weaknesses, or things you're working on? I'll say weakness. What are some of your strengths right now as a player, as you go into moving into next year and playing somewhere? And what are some things you're working on?
Some things that I'm personally working on right now is just basically I'm continuing to expand my route running skills.
Okay.
That is the major thing for me right now, is continuing to grow my route running skills. That is like the biggest pet peeve for me. And then just staying disciplined and having mental toughness. That's the biggest thing. Adversity happens to everybody. And, sometimes it's like a bad feeling. You feel like, nobody believes in you, but like, the feeling of overcoming like everything is what I work on. Like, I feel like I can overcome anything. So, that's pretty much what I work on every day.
So the thing I've learned about you in the short time I've known you is that adversity, you've been through it, and you've come through it flying colors, dealing with your grandmother and your mom. So I don't think any coach is going to question you how to overcome adversity. Tell me this: what about, we're hearing more about mental health across collegiate and pro sports. What is your take? How do you handle doing all the things you're doing, staying, physically fit and stuff? How do you handle making sure that you're mentally okay to go through a tough academic schedule and be able to contribute on the field?
Honestly, it starts with just yourself as a man. It starts like when you wake up, you take a short time, to pray to God, get your relationship with God right. And then just the relationship with your family. Like, if you don't have that, like, try to like give a part of you to your family. And I mean that in the most like genuinest way. Like, you really need to be like family oriented, because like they are the people that like helped you get here. So like I wouldn't be anywhere right now if it wasn't for my mother or my father working like hard nights, every. So it's basically just for me, just talking to my mom, seeing how she's doing, working out. Outside of that, it's just, again, football, cars, talking to my mom, and religion.
Okay. Good
That's
stuff.
pretty much helps my mental health. So
great. Well, I think coaches have a good feeling for you, and I think this will, we'll get this out there and share it amongst a lot of the coaches in my network. But as we finish up here, we talked about that elevator pitch and you being a budding entrepreneur when it comes to cars and all things cars. Look in the camera right now, Malik, and tell these coaches why they should come and get you out of the portal and what you're going to bring to their program once you get to their new school.
Hello, future coach. If you come to get me, I will bring you a different type of athlete, a hybrid athlete, an athlete that you can coach, put in any position that you need, and can bring your team wins. I am a hybrid. I am a fighter. I am a warrior, and I will bring a win and leadership to your team. I am not afraid to lead. I've won championships before, and I'm excited to be a part of your team.
Love it, man. That is a great elevator pitch. Malik, man, thank you for your time. And thank you for sharing your story. I mean, this is something that, it isn't all milk and cookies. A lot of these high school kids, and probably even you when you're younger, like, hey, my film and I got my transcripts, I'm ready to go. And there's so many other factors that really factor into you being a successful student athlete at the college level, no matter what level it is. And so I think a lot of coaches are also going to see that you're mature for your age. You've got a plan. You're not some young kid who's like, hey, I just want to play, throw me the ball. I mean, you understand what it takes to be successful in college. And I think there's going to be a lot of college that we'll be looking forward to you. If you ever need anything, reach out to me. We've got each other's Twitter names and whatnot. You got my information. I'll definitely help get you out there. Tell your mom and dad who I had a chance to talk to a little bit through email that I'm praying for them, praying for you. And if you ever need anything, consider me a resource. Let me know what you need, man. And I got your back, okay?
Awesome. Great.
All right, man. Have a blessed evening, okay? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, bye.